Hey, this is Joel Oney at J Money in the heart of the Buckeye State, and I want to personally welcome you to today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast with my good friends Jared Ledford and Eric Olson, better known as the Steel Kings. Be sure to check out jmoneyllc.com for financing solutions for your buildings. And now let's get back to the Steel Kings podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jared, and over there is my best friend Eric, and we are the Steel Kings coming at you with another episode this week of the Steel Kings podcast. Eric, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, brother? Happy July 7th. We have wrapped up the funnest weekend of the year.
Yes, sir.
Hottest weekend of the year.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys had a happy and safe 4th of July, enjoyed fireworks with your family and friends. We just got off a podcast with our friend Rodney Creech, who is the Ohio State Representative for District 40. And we were having, God bless him for hanging out with us. We were having some technical difficulties with our feed and everything else. So we're jumping back in here to shoot a quick intro and just talk about our week. Hope you guys are doing well. Did you have anything going on, man? Did you do anything fun over the 4th of July? I know we talked about that on the last episode, what we might be getting into. What'd you end up doing?
Shout out to Hamilton, which is a huge city in Ohio, mind you. I think nobody really thinks that Hamilton's a big city, but Hamilton is a big city. They've got a quite a downtown park area. They had a huge July 4th celebration, had live music. There was an AC/DC Guns N' Roses cover band that played, and there was thousands of people down there, put on a big light. So kudos to the town of Hamilton, man. They put on a good show. The police presence was good. There wasn't any major issues I saw, man. Good stuff.
Good.
So yeah, what about you?
I worked on the community picnic book. I grinded, like normal. I sat outside with the girls for a short period of time. I'm just not a big firework guy. I think I said that before. I've said it a couple times. Fireworks are just not my thing. I just never got into them. But the girls love them, and I wanted to encourage that. There was a nice little firework display at the end of our street. So luckily we didn't have to go anywhere to see that. It was literally right up in our faces. I was sitting there with my fire extinguisher ready, thinking, don't hit my house with the fireworks. That was what I was. I'm that guy. I'm that neighbor. Like, hey, shoot them off. Just don't shoot them off towards my house.
You see some crazy videos.
Yeah. I'm just. There's this one video where they're in the driveway and all these people are like shooting off fireworks and they just like explode all over these people. And I'm like, yeah,
that one. I know.
Right.
I know.
Right.
That one was.
Yeah. About
having fun. Now I'm calling home insurance.
Calling the 911, calling dispatch or something. But yeah, we're gonna share with you guys our interview with Rodney. We're gonna piece this together as best we can on our side, and maybe the team over at Shed Geek Podcast will make it look clean and neat and organized for you guys. As always, the Steel Kings Podcast is brought to you by our studio sponsor, the guys over at J Money. If you're building or selling anything from metal buildings and sheds to doors, windows, or pools, J Money helps you, offering financing that gets the deals done. No more losing jobs because a customer can't pay up front. Fast approvals, flexible terms, and zero headaches. Head to jmoneyllc.com and grow your business with payment solutions that actually work. Big shout out to the team over there, Joel and those guys. They're doing a great job. We are going to go ahead and share with you our interview with State Rep Rodney Creech, and we will see you guys next week for another episode of the Steel Kings Podcast. In the meantime, I'm Jared and he's Eric. Hang out and watch our interview with Rodney, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out. The technical fiascos this morning. The Steel Kings are struggling with our virtual backgrounds and StreamYard, but we are super happy to have you with us, man. Eric, jump in here, man. How are you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad. It's so hot outside. I went to Monday morning prayer at 6 a.m. and it was too hot. I was in a sanctuary and they didn't have the AC on, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I went to the gym. Gym was hot. Now I'm in my living room. Hot. It's a good day to stay inside and keep the doors shut and crank up that AC to about 68.
Find a fan. Find a fan and find some AC.
I bought a, I got to show you guys. I got a little portable fan. It's right next to my head.
Well, fair enough, man.
Real
fair
talk.
enough. We were talking about the 4th of July last week. We talked about the movie The Sandlot. We talked about what me and Eric are going to do on our July 4th. So you're catching this a couple weeks after the 4th. So we hope you had a happy and safe one with your families. But I thought, who better to interview than a person who is representative of our state, somebody who's out doing the work every day for us. Rodney, introduce yourself to the listeners and the viewers. We're super happy and privileged to have you here with us, man.
Well, thank you so much for the invite. Rodney Creech. I'm in my 3rd term as a state representative here in the state of Ohio, and previously served as a county commissioner and township trustee in my area, and just have a great passion for serving the people that I represent. But in the real world, I'm a farmer and a business owner. A lot of times, people look at me as a politician, but I'm a 4th-generation grain farmer, and celebrating 20 years on a local business. And so politics, even though I do it full time because it's a full time job, it's not my livelihood. I'm not a lifetime politician. I can exit the game at any time and go back into the real world. And it's a great position to be in.
Well, I can tell you, and I just want to preface this with the Steel Kings stay neutral. We're not a political party. We don't draw our lines on that side of the fence. But I can tell you from a personal perspective, you are my state rep. We've had breakfast a couple of times. We don't agree on a lot, right? But at the same time, you have taken your time to absolutely get to know me, hear my opinions, hear me out. And same with you. You earned my vote. And I can tell you, I love the fact that you're doing the podcast with us. I really appreciate it. I want to give you a platform up front. This guy's running for state senate. This is a guy who wants to continue down the path, and you heard it straight from his mouth. He is not a lifetime politician. I can vouch for his family's hard work over the years. He lives 10 minutes from me, and he's built a thriving small business that is serving a large area of our area as well. So we are super happy to have you here, Rodney. I'm going to jump right in, man. One of the things that we have been dealing with on our side of the fence has been steel tariffs. And I know we talked about it from a state perspective, not much going on there. This is more of a federal issue. But, what are you seeing, hearing from constituents? I mean, just you're out and about all the time. What are you seeing and hearing? How's it affecting? And what do you think the long-term ramifications are for steel tariffs?
Well, I think anytime there's changes in administration, there's concerns on one side or the other, or maybe both sides. And, tariffs have been taking up the news, especially back at the beginning of the year, the concerns of tariffs. And I think what we're seeing is, those concerns, although they were valid and there was some short-term pain, possibly some midterm pain for long-term gain, I think we're there. And, I just was watching the news the other night, and some of the biggest opponents of tariffs are starting to come around and say, you know what, this might work out. And, we have companies that have moved out of the United States that are coming back, being heavily involved in the agriculture industry. That's where I spend the majority of my time. There are companies that are moving back to the United States. I know John Deere just made a huge commitment several weeks ago. And so, unfortunately, for every action, there's a reaction. And I think there were some bad decisions that were made in the past. And hopefully these tariffs will help correct some of that. But my heart goes out to all the businesses that have unknowns, the businesses in my district that are having to tighten their belts because they don't know what the future holds. But I think long term, they're going to be doing well.
Yeah, we're here. I mean, we're a business in your district. I mean, we can speak from experience, and we know it firsthand. Eric and I talked about it at length probably 3-4 episodes ago. We really dug in deep on steel tariffs. We're of the opinion that long term, this is something that's going to be positive for the market, right? I think right now, Eric took the stance of the more positive. I took the stance of the more negative, and we just kind of shot at the hip, looked at some news reports and things like that. But I think from our perspective, we really needed a self-correction, not just from a supply chain standpoint, but also from a pricing standpoint. We sell steel buildings, prefabricated steel buildings nationwide. That's a market that hadn't seen a price increase. Eric, what do you think, man? The last 5 years? I mean,
even during COVID, it dropped. So
Yeah.
I would say this is probably the first time, I would say, as owning Dayton Barnes, so 6 7 years now, like first time that it's been talked about as much. Now our
Yep.
sales last month were like insane. They were good.
Yep.
They were
Yep.
strong.
Yep.
A lot of comments there. I think that like tariffs scare, if you're buying a $30,000 product, you're buying a $30,000 product, whether I think the price is $34K or $28K. I think really what this is affecting, that's the smaller carport people that, they're negotiating. Okay, do I need to spend that this year? Maybe we could do this next year or the year after. So it's been unique, kind of navigating it and discussing it with you and others too. So.
I think it's tough. I think it's tough when when that initial announcement comes out that steel prices are going up. I think that everybody immediately says, "Oh, well, I saw on the news that steel's going up 50%. I'm not going to buy today." But once they have time to not just absorb the information that's in front of them, but really see that, oh, okay, pricing hasn't gone up 50% across the board, as they start to understand, the information that's coming at them, they see the prices are the same that they were a few months ago, they start to ease. I do think that there is, Rodney, jump in here anytime. I mean, you talk to more people than us. I mean, we're strictly focused on our side of the business, that is tubular steel, sheet metal, things like that. We're hearing from some suppliers and manufacturers at this point that they are expecting it to tick up in price. But most of the manufacturers we work with are not outsourcing the steel to begin with. So, Rodney, you can probably give us the lay of the land. When they talk about steel tariffs, they're not talking about stuff that's made here in the States. They're talking about stuff that's brought in from other places. So maybe give us your overview on that.
Oh, no.
Sam, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, Lisa. I was just trying to get a screwdriver and all this other stuff fell down. I'm ready to go buy a shed so we can have some space in this garage again.
I agree. I keep looking at the shed Mr. Jenkins bought. Let's ask him where I got his.
Howdy, neighbor. We're wondering, how do you like your shed?
I love it. It's exactly what I needed, and I couldn't have asked for a better service.
And where did you get it?
I can't remember, but let me check. Something this nice will probably have the builder's name on it somewhere. No, I'm sorry. I can't find a name anywhere.
Well, we finally got a shed.
Yes, I just hope we're happy. The thing is a lot more shoddy than I expected, and I'm sure I told them I wanted a window, but they didn't have it in the paperwork, so I couldn't argue. Boy, is this a lousy shed. We haven't even had it 2 years, have we?
Barely. It was just a bad deal all the way around. Mr. Jenkins told me the other day that he likes his shed so much he wants to get a second one, but he still can't remember where he got it.
Your product is your best advertising. At Identigrow, we provide nameplates that ensure your quality products are never forgotten. Identify your products, grow your business. For more information, visit identigrow.com.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a buy local guy. When I go out and eat, I don't want to go to the big box store. I want to support mom and pop shops. And when I'm out, as a business owner, it's really changed my mindset. I think before I owned a business, I wanted the cheapest I could get, and I was always trying to save money. Well, when you become a business owner, you're like, you know what? I want to support those small businesses because I need them to support me. And I think with tariffs, it's the same thing. Everybody's wanting cheap supplies. We all want the cheapest supplies we can purchase, so we can pass that on to our customers and be competitive. And I think the new administration says, America first, and I'm a big supporter of America first.
Yep.
And we've not been that way for a long time, and so we may have to pay a little extra for for whatever we're purchasing, but we're supporting local, and those local dollars are going to go back into our economy. And over time, all we're doing is leveling the playing field. We've been, the United States has been getting hosed for years, and we finally have an administration that's willing to stand up for the country that we live in. There's no other country that takes care of the United States, and I don't believe that the United States should be taking care of any other country. We need to take care of our own, and I think tariffs is a fix for that. Again, I remember the president saying there's going to be a lot of pain for this gain, and I think we've seen some of that, but I think it's subsiding, and I think that things are working out pretty well.
Yeah, I think anything worth doing is worth doing right.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a little bit of a bumpiness when you really get started doing something that's worthwhile. And I think that this is something that's needed to happen for some time. And really, as the rubber hits the road, as we start to get movement, I'm not seeing personally the kind of disaster that I thought I would. And Eric knows this. I mean, I was not feeling real good. I mean, I just wasn't. A couple months ago, I was like, man, this is really concerning me.
Well, keep in mind, politics is fear, and it depends on what side and what's what. And politics is fear, and I hate that, because why can't we just be honest with the people and say, hey, this might or might not work, but you know what? Let's buckle up and I think what we're finding is the fear isn't working anymore, and people are not putting as much faith in the news. They're watching podcasts because it's normal Americans talking to the people.
Yep. Yeah, I've been really.
I couldn't agree more with that.
I've been really surprised by that. I me, Rodney. I mean, you know me well enough to know I'm a pretty traditional media consumer. I watch a lot. I watch the nightly news. I try to watch. I try to watch a good mix at night too. And I can tell you, man, we're knee deep in this. Eric and I deal with this every single day. We're getting messages from manufacturers, from partners who are saying, hey, keep an eye out. We don't know if we're going to be able to honor discounts much longer. Right now, they're extending discounts.
Yeah, I think that our suppliers extended them today.
Yeah, I think that they are feeling, this is July 7, to mind you. So I think we are seeing sort of a stabilization, right? When the market gets bad news, the market reacts accordingly. And then the market always seems to correct itself once that news is absorbed and people start to put the pieces in place, right? That's why I was really glad, not just coming off July 4th, to have Rodney here to kind of reassure us, right? He's seeing more people. He's talking to more people. But as Eric and I come around, I think things are getting better, right, Eric? I mean, is that what you're seeing?
I mean, for the past 30 days, I would say we've had a normal, probably a higher end sales month. So I think the optimism's good. I want to touch on something Rodney said. What the news says, whoever that is, I think people are getting real content. Like they could say, 50% tariff. But like, if you just go to the store for 6 months straight and nothing budges, you're really not, you're just reading some sentence, and you have to get over it that maybe it's not as devastating as what was behind the reason to write it the way that it was written. So I don't see shyness. In fact, I see more people doing what you're doing, Ronnie, which is going local. Like there's all these, like, for example, I'm just going to advertise some beef tallow lotion, some local business beef tallow lotion. And I'm, to me, I'm like, I'm intrigued by these people are like, I don't want to make hourly anymore. I just want to do my own thing. And I buy raw milk. I buy farm fresh eggs. Whatever the thing I bought this morning was. And, I find myself way more interested in like, instead of buying Lay's potato chips, I bought these Massa, throwing a shout out for Massa tortilla chips. It's just corn and oil. And that's all it is, 2 ingredients. And it's a local business that they sell on Amazon. And so I think people are more willing to buy local products and spend more money because they know the person behind it. They can call, talk to, discuss it, give them their feedback, and there's some value with that. I think it's kind of circling back to that mom and pop vibe.
It's
coming?
That's the goal of tariffs, right, Rodney?
That is the goal of tariffs.
America first, man.
We're speaking it into existence right now.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. We used to have a lot of steel manufacturers here, and due to tariffs and due to unfair trade, those businesses closed up shop. What the Trump administration is saying is, we're open for business. You fire your location up. Let's stop supporting other countries. Let's put America first. And I do believe, I can tell you me, all right? I'm an American flag guy through and through. I wear it every day. I think about it every day. I talk about it every day. And if somebody comes to me and says, we use all American made products and the other company doesn't, more than likely I'm going to support American made. And I think we're to that point.
Yeah.
10 years ago, maybe not the case. I think a lot of people, it doesn't matter what political party they are, they want to put their country first, or I hope they do.
Yeah.
You know, there's I live in Germantown in one of the neighborhoods here, and there's a kid, and I brought this up with Jared before. There was a kid who is an entrepreneur. He's a couple houses down, and he keeps setting up tables on his driveway to sell stuff. And he's like maybe 10 years old or something. So the other day he had bracelets that he was making, and he was selling them for like $5 or $10 a piece. Well, he doubled down on his business, and so simultaneously now he has a bracelet table, but now he's got a lemonade table too. So he wants you to get a drink. So even I know it seems like a joke that I'm saying this, but like it's true. The guy, he's like, maybe I need to offer this on top of this. I need to add this, and man, that's what kids need. Like that's what people need to think. Like you create your own thing, and then adjust. It's hot, offer lemonade. I mean, it's really like that simple. Yeah, and don't outsource the lemonade.
Spirit.
Yeah, don't outsource the lemonade. Make it in your kitchen and sell it on the street. So
that's what we're doing, Eric. Right? I mean, the steel tariffs. So I don't think Rodney knows this. Maybe he does. The steel tariffs forced us to make an executive decision at our business level to really start a second business, and it's something that we've been doing for some time. We've been brokering all kinds of structures nationwide for years now, but we're finally going to dive into pole barns. And pole barns have really become, from an agricultural standpoint. So speaking to a farmer, 4th generation farmer, pole barns tend to be the bee's knees when it comes to ag projects. They tend to do better with livestock. They tend to do better just across the board. But that's something that, if nothing else was accomplished through the tariffs for Dayton Barns, it was able to see us go and expand off into starting a new business, starting a new pole barn business, and really making that a formal kind of a thing. So it motivated us. I mean, I'm sure it's motivating you out there that are doing new things. And that's really what it was designed to do. It was to really get us motivated to do something, like Rodney said, America first, start a new business, get out and do something new. Eric, you said that too. It really excites me, man. I mean, honestly, like I'm feeling a lot better about it than I was a few months ago.
Yeah, there's no tariffs on wood. Just say it. It just grows.
Well, there's no tariffs on American steel. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing that I think a lot of people have to really kind of understand about this process. The people who are going to struggle, the people who are going to have issues are the ones who are getting Chinese, Taiwan, all of the Mexican steel. I mean, all that stuff is going to be imported and really going to be increasing in price. So when you see these kind of, everybody sees them in our industry, right? These metal building companies that pop up with these crazy prices, and they're coming out of every which direction. Work locally. If you are a metal building dealer and you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, find the right manufacturer to partner with, find the right team to work alongside, make sure that they're sourcing really good American-made steel, and their pricing is going to stay probably flat. The only increase in price is going to be due to demand, and it's not going to be 50%. I can tell you that right now. They're going to produce at a level that they need to. I think most of these production facilities were probably running below what they were maximum capacity for. Rodney, I don't know if you can add anything to that. I mean, that's kind of the way that we're seeing it. Is it's a supply and demand kind of a thing with American goods. The price is probably going to go up marginally, and that's just something to be expected. But not 50%. We're not.
Yeah, and
that.
again, I think we go back to the fear factor. I mean, a couple weeks ago when we had the Israel-Iran happen, everybody said, "Go get your fuel, guys. You're going to be paying $4.50 for fuel," and I saw it today for $2.55.
They sure
$2.55.
did. Yeah.
And so I think it is. Turn your news off, buy local, enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I think it was what was it, a Saturday. I was planning on doing something with the kids, and they're like, yeah, don't go outside. There's gonna be riots, there's gonna be fires, there's gonna be all this stuff going on. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to Young's Dairy. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a riot there. Matter of fact, we had a good time and the weather was nice. No fires, no emergency.
God bless Southwest Ohio, man.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God for people like you, Rodney, that got us through something like COVID where they locked us in our houses. And now I'm getting a little political, but I can tell you it was people like you that fought alongside and said, hey, enough's enough. We need to get back out. And, that's the kind of stuff I'm fearful of as someone who does watch the news and does have a little bit of, I know to which I speak on a lot of subjects. Jack of all trade, master of none, right? But I can tell you, I will never be locked up in my house again. That is never going to happen to me. So
that'll never happen again.
I love where we live, and I love the help that people like you, Rodney, are giving us, man.
Well, in the future, the governor has 30 days. We passed Senate Bill 22. In fact, we had to do a veto override on Senate Bill 22.
Yep.
And so the governor will have 30 days to make some decisions. And after that, the legislature takes over. And I can promise you, I don't make a lot of promises, but I can promise you that that'll never happen again because my people don't want it. And I will vote for my people. And if they want to make health decisions for themselves, that's what they're going to do. The government's not going to do it again.
Yep. And decisions that you make got you, I think you won 70-30 in your district. I mean, you are overwhelmingly popular in your district.
Let's face it, in the shed industry, content is king and always has been. 30 years ago, this meant having the cleanest shed lots on the busiest corners with the best looking inventory. But today, digital ad placement and high quality video have taken their place. The brands pulling ahead right now are the ones showing it visually with sharp, modern, professional content. That's exactly why we here at Shed Geek Marketing created the premier content capture package. With this package, we send our video production team to your location for a full day and a half, and we don't just film the pretty shots. We capture your brand's entire backbone. Your corporate team in action, shed building and craftsmanship, dealer locations, show lots, deliveries, testimonials, and drone footage. Those panning shots of your unique shed styles and fine details that make your product shine. This gives you a deep library of original footage to build high-performing, cost-efficient campaigns that stay fresh and dominate attention. No more scrambling for content, no more mediocre ads, just real footage that helps you build trust, tell your story, and convert like crazy. If you're ready to stand out and stay out in front, this is your content foundation.
Well, in my job, it's pretty simple. And I tell people I run my political career just like my business. And it's called customer service, customer service, customer service. And I listen, I tell the truth, I call people back, and I underpromise and overdeliver. It's not that hard. And but for some reason it's hard for a lot of people to figure out in politics. And I just came from a meeting right before this, and I said, you know what? I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the truth. You can just decide if you like it or not. And it's just the way I operate.
Straight.
Yeah. Yeah. We welcome that, man. We welcome that. I can tell you it's been a real pleasure, Rodney. Been an absolute pleasure to have you on here with us, man. Tell us a little bit as we wrap up for today. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the future. Tell us a little bit about next steps, where they can check you out, anything you got coming up that you want to share with us.
Yeah, I mean, we had an exciting announcement a few weeks ago. I was asked to run for the Senate about 18 months ago. And keep in mind, politics, there is some planning that goes into it. It's not something that just pops up overnight. And with term limits and things, that changed everything, which, my opinion on term limits has changed a little bit. I've always been a big term limit guy, and I still am. But in the state of Ohio, we have 8-year term limits in the House and 8-year terms in the Senate. And what I can tell you is I'm in my 5th year as a state rep. And in the first 4 years, you figure out where the bathrooms are, you figure out personalities, you figure out how the place works. So, I'm halfway through my House career, if you will, and I've just learned how to do my job, and I still got a long way to go. And so, term limits have changed everything. I feel like, we should probably have 12-year term limits. The term limits are probably a little too short. You spend half of your career learning how to do it and the last half getting to do it. So, I am in my 5th year, got asked to run for the Senate, talked to my wife about it. People don't understand the life that we live. You give up a lot. I farm with my dad. Farming is my number one passion in life. A lot of times dad's home farming by himself, and I'm in Columbus or out across the district or out across the state with engagements. Long story short, I love it. And when I got asked to run for the Senate, talked to my wife, she said yes. I committed to it, and I've been working the Senate district for about the last 19 months. And so really excited. And, I just want to take what I'm doing in the state rep district. A Senate district is 3 state rep districts. So a state rep district represents 120,000 people, and the Senate district's around 360,000 people. I just want to take what I'm doing and affect 2 other districts and represent the people that elect me. It's not that complicated. Listen at home and take the beliefs, ideas, and thoughts that you hear from the majority. I love it when I'm on social media and I type in and they say, you don't represent me. Well, I represent the majority. And if you think that men should be playing in women's sports, I probably don't represent you. You're right. And so, I go up there and my theory is I'm going to go up there. I'm going to vote my heart. I'm going to do what's right. And the day that the people don't like me, I get a farm full time. And I consider that a huge win.
Yeah. And I can tell you, to echo off, we don't have people that want to run that have any kind of common sense about what they want to do with if they win. Rodney, you've been super, super helpful and gracious to me as I'm considering running for council in Brookville. And you've been very motivating to me and pushing me towards that, which I really appreciate. But I can tell you, we've got open seats and it doesn't seem anybody wants to run. And we've got
who would want to?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Let me get this right. So I'm going to give up my life. I'm going to make $25 for a council meeting and lose some of my friends.
That's right.
Me up.
That's right.
That's right. For me, I'll tell you this. I make $70,000 a year in state rep. Okay. I put 30,000 miles on my car a year. I'm never home. I miss family events because I put my district first. And people can say, you should be a family man. I am a family man.
Yeah.
But I can tell you what, a lot of people don't sacrifice to serve the public. And I've chosen to do that. I love my job. You have to make sacrifices. And I think, I tell people, we have 3 farmers in the Ohio House. Our country was founded upon Christian farmers. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's just the facts. And today, if you look at the Ohio State Legislature, we have 3 farmers in the Ohio House. We have no farmers in the Senate. And one of the big jokes is, why don't we have any farmers at the Ohio House? And my joke is, farmers are smart enough not to do it. I just didn't, I took the bait, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I love it. I live for my district. I really do.
I can vouch for you, my friend. And I can tell you, we are beyond appreciative. We'll have you back on as you are rolling down the road and helping the people in your district. But man, I can tell you, Rodney, it has been a real, real pleasure to have you on the podcast. Eric, you got anything as we part out for this week, brother?
It's a pleasure hanging with you. You are one of the most, if not the most charismatic farmers, well-rounded.
Yeah.
You couldn't even, not that you can tell a farmer, but you couldn't tell if you're a farmer or not. But it's nice because you kind of, you're a rep first, you're a family, you're all of these things you can't tell. So you are a beautiful mix of things. So man,
I'm blessed. I'll tell you. It's just I got to tell you though, and you guys didn't ask, but I got to tell you this. The number one question I get is, why did you get into politics? Number one question. I don't care. I was on a podcast last week, and I got to tell you this. Where I live, I'm 4th-generation farmer. My grandpa lived in this house. He moved in this house when he was 7 years old. And when he died, he still lived in this house. And my grandfather was a township trustee. And the only reason that I'm into politics is because my grandfather was a trustee and I got to watch him serve people. And, so I'm really carrying on the family tradition. I don't think people were born to serve. I think they have to learn to serve. And thank God, I had great leadership from my family to always put others first. And, and there's a lot of great people out here in the state. I mean, when you look at the legislature, the House and the Senate, these people love it. I may disagree with them on 100% of everything, but at the end of the day, they love their district as much as I love mine, and they're there to represent their district just as I am. And so, that's the way I look at it. I wish we could get younger people in politics. I wish we could get more people engaged in politics. But like I said before, who wants to do it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a tough sport. It's a tough sport.
When they're coming at you from all sides, man, and nothing's off, nothing's off limits. They can say anything they want and get away with it. And I can tell you, if you want the truth, come get it from Rodney. He'll give it to you straight every time. He's giving it to me straight, even when it hurts. And I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate that about you. But I mean, to be fair, you take it. You take the feedback. You know what I mean? And in a respectful way. I think that I earned your respect because I'm respectful. Right?
Oh, yeah,
that's the biggest thing. I think you meet that. You will treat somebody how they treat you. And I can tell you, I have enjoyed my time with you, Rodney, and I've enjoyed this very much. And we'll get together for breakfast or something soon, I'm sure.
Let's do that. And the one message I would like to send before we get out of
here.
here.
Anything you want,
is, remember, your elected officials work for you. And I think a lot of times, I remember when I was a little township trustee and I would see our congressman, I'm like, holy cow, that's our U.S. congressman. What does that suit cost?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? My suits cost the same as everybody else's.
Yeah.
And I think we come across sometimes. I wear polo shirts. I wear a hat anytime I can. I'm a farmer. I wear hats. I don't dress up. I don't act fancy. Be sure and reach out to those people that are elected. Be sure and reach out to those school board members. If you're not happy with a school issue, reach out to that school board member. If you're not happy with a village or city issue, if you're not happy with a state issue, I give my phone number to everybody. Everybody has my cell phone number. And, reach out to us because I have made decisions based on input from my constituents. I've changed my votes because of constituent input. So please know that your elected officials work for you. And if they don't think they do, two options. You can remind them or run against them. And, but I think we've got to remember that, we work for the people and the people need to remind us that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold your elected officials accountable. Rodney, I appreciate you, man. He's the Ohio State Representative, District 40, Rodney Creech. He's running for state senate. We are finishing up on this episode. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our team over at VersaBend. Today's episode of the Steel Kings podcast is brought to you by the team over at Cold Spring Enterprises. They brought to you this great tool called the VersaBend. This beast bends bows and 3 moves flat, handles multiple tubing sizes and switches between them in seconds. No tools, no hassle. Still that same price, $19,500 with average shipping around $600. If you are in the state of South Carolina, you do pay tax. Everywhere else is tax-free. Get ahead of the curve. Visit csecarport.supply or call 864-446-3645. Seriously, tell Wendell the Steel Kings sent you. We are going to wrap up this episode of the Steel Kings podcast. I'm Jared. He's Eric. We are the Steel Kings with Rodney. We will see you guys next week for another episode, and we appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Go America and go Reds.
Yeah, go Reds. Go Reds. Talk at you later, guys.
Go Reds.
Bye.
Before you go, the J Money team wants to thank you for listening to today's Steel Kings podcast. Remember, money is king, and if you need a financing option on your portable wood sheds or steel buildings, we are here to help. Just check us out at jmoneyllc.com for more information. And don't forget to catch the next episode of the Steel Kings podcast and have a great day.